You sit down, grab your guitar, play the same favorite riffs and licks, put it away, and go on to the next thing. Is that what your practice routine tends to look like? If so, you may have fallen into the coasting trap that many intermediate guitarists get stuck in, sometimes for years. This is because you're playing guitar when you should be training. You're neglecting an essential skill that makes guitar and improving your chops way easier and saves you a lot more time. You struggle to get clarity on goals that will make you a better musician, and your environment is working against you, not for you. Today we're going to unpack all of that so you can finally break free from your guitar plateau by training with intention. So to start this, we've got to talk about the difference between playing guitar and training, okay? So when you're playing guitar, what you do is you grab your guitar, you noodle around, maybe you play along to your favorite songs, maybe try out a new lick or two, and even worse, you just rehash the same go-to licks and riffs you've been going at for months on end, and next thing you know, another year has passed you by and you're no further than you were last year. Now, a lot of players don't understand this difference, and what they often end up doing is play the guitar, which can give you a false sense of satisfaction. It gives you that idea that you've punched your ticket for the day so you can feel accomplished because you had your guitar in your hands. Now, this is absolutely better than nothing. It can be good to dedicate at least some of your days to just playing alone, but if this is how you consistently behave with your guitar over the long term, you're going to look around and wonder why everyone else is so much further ahead while you're the same player you were years ago. Ultimately, constantly playing and not training can lead to stagnated skills and a plateau that you never break from. Now, training, on the other hand, is much more intentional. This is where you're actually practicing. A lot of people mistake the term practicing guitar when really they're just playing the guitar, but when you're practicing, that's really training. You're moving the needle, and your session time with your instrument, like I said, is intentional. You are there with your guitar to go further and further than you were last time. You are there to make progress toward a specific goal or a specific set of goals. Now, everything changes when you step into that room, you grab your guitar, and you're intentional with what you do by choosing to do the things that'll get you further ahead than you were yesterday and set the stage to take you even further tomorrow. And that's because you end up making measurable practice. So if you were to compare if you were to think of it as before and after photos of your playing, you would notice a drastic improvement when training with intention as opposed to just playing all the time. Now, how do you do that? Well, you have to decide what it is that you're going to do that you need to work on. It's not always easy to identify what your weakness is or what skill it is you need to focus on to bring you further ahead. But to me, one of the most measurable and beneficial ways to do this is to become a faster guitarist. So for example, if I started this journey, with a goal in mind of being a faster guitarist, I would document what my starting point was at the beginning of the training cycle. Now, this is really cool because this is how a lot of athletes approach their training in general. Like, strength training is one of the easiest ways to connect this. But let's say I started out my guitar journey at 100 beats per minute. Now, that's going to be my before photo. Then, after training with intention consistently in that given training cycle, here's going to be my after photo, so to speak. And this is where becoming a faster player is one of the most important things you can do as a guitarist, even if you don't really care to be a particularly fast player. And the problem with not improving your speed is that you're stuck. You're not able to play faster things that eventually you're going to be more interested in playing. And as a result of that, your technique stays the same. And if your technique is poor, you're going to reinforce bad form, and that's going to make it a lot harder to unlearn bad habits as time goes on. And you'll find it very difficult to learn new things if you're not improving your speed, because the faster you can play, the faster you can pick up on new things. So as a result of that, it's gonna take you longer to learn new things if you're not working on your speed and becoming a faster player than you are right now. And so inevitably, this results in you wasting time relearning and staying stuck when you could have been getting better and getting faster. So the solution to this is to become a faster, more technically proficient guitarist. Now, as a result of putting in that work and developing your speed, you're gonna inevitably optimize your technique along the way. Really, you have no choice, because in order to play faster and faster, you have to tighten that technique more and more. And the cool thing is, this is going to allow you to keep up with what you're playing, so that way you're not in a position where your mind is telling your hands to do something and they end up going all, crazy, not really knowing what to do, because they can't keep up. They can't keep up with the tempo. And as a result, the accuracy and the sound is going to suffer big time. So that's another benefit for putting in the work to develop your speed and technique. And really, this is going to make your playing sound way cleaner. Your hand synchronization is going to shoot through the roof. It's going to be super tight, and you're going to increase your ability to articulate notes and how you want them to be, whether that's going to be louder or softer. And this is what makes the same sequences in one set of hands sound much different compared to another set of hands that are trained for speed with intention. Now, this is exactly why I created a whole event around this, and to help guitarists figure out what's getting in the way of locking in their technique and the speed they need to get better. It's my 5-day Shred Guitar Challenge. Now, each day I work with you to unpack what's keeping you stuck, so that way by the end of the challenge, you will have added 20 to 50 beats per minute to your playing with greater clarity, and have a plan to do it again and again, all while getting support along the way live with me in real time to make sure you're doing things correctly. So if this is resonating with you, details for the next challenge are in the link below, and you can also find them at zachsharguitar.com and sign up there. Now, one of the key differentiators between playing guitar in a session, a practice session, and training is that you're working toward a goal, okay? Now, there's specific criteria you need to keep in mind. It's nothing crazy, nothing overwhelming, but just something you want to have in mind. It might help if you write this down, so that way it's a constant reminder and motivator for you to get the job done and move the needle. But your goal, it needs to be specific, okay? Like, is it just to play faster? Like, faster doing what? Is it hammer-ons, pull-offs, both? Is it sweep picking? Is it alternate picking? In this case, you might end up going with alternate picking, okay? So your specific goal is going to be to improve your alternate picking speed. Now, like, by how much, okay? There needs to be a measurable component to this. Now, this could be, I want to add 50 beats per minute to my alternate picking speed, okay? Now we're getting further and further along here. But is this going to be achievable for you? So you're going to need to definitely use your judgment here. This is, where the experimental nature of the guitar journey comes in. And really, this is where finding your true baseline comes in really handy, because most people neglect doing that and they plateau way earlier than they should have, which is why we locked that in during my Shred Guitar Challenge. And this is where you know yourself best. Use your baseline and use that as a guide to determine what is achievable for you as you move toward that goal. For example, can you commit to 15 minutes a day for 5 days? Most people can. So this may be where you start depending on what your baseline is. Now, is this goal that you're working on, is it relevant? Like, how is the skill impactful for you? Is it something that you're currently struggling with? And does it interfere with your ability to play at the level you want to play? If your alternate picking speed is tripping you up, then that's definitely something you'll want to focus on. So lastly, is there a time-based component to your goal? For example, we can say 5 days, okay? And when you put this all together, your goal could look something like this with all the details in it. After practicing alternate picking for 15 minutes a day for 5 days, I will add 50 beats per minute to my baseline speed. Now that, anything like that, that's just an example, but using a goal and following it in that same fashion is going to really separate your sessions with your guitar, your practice sessions, and determine really, are those practicing sessions where you're training, or are they playing sessions where you're just kind of doing the same stuff over and over again? Those two things look a lot different from each other. And something else that can really take what would be a totally awesome training session with your guitar and turn it into not that, something that's not going to get you further ahead. And what could be getting in your way could be something as simple as the environment you're playing in, okay? And the good news with this is that this is one of the easiest fixes that'll get you further ahead. So the problem with your environment could be that it's surrounded by distractions or things getting in the way of what would be a really good training session and potentially blocking that session from happening altogether. So, for example, that really nice guitar that you're playing on, can you even see it in the room? Like, is it out or is it hidden in a closet somewhere or something like that? And the phone that you use to learn on, is that working against you because of all the notifications and distractions that are diverting your attention away from the goal? So what you need to do in this case, really, it's super simple. You could just keep a guitar, your guitar, out invisible, and really anything else that's guitar related in terms of the materials that you need to get the job done. And as a result, that's adding something to the environment. Now, you might need to remove something from the environment, like something as simple as putting your phone on do not disturb or something like that. So the environment is huge, because when you put yourself in a position where you are in a room with others who are there to give input and or achieve the same goal or goals you're trying to achieve, that's really going to be night and day in terms of your before and after photo with committed training. Now that's a whole different level to the idea of environment. So this is making me think of Proverbs 11, which says, where there is no guidance, a people falls, but in an abundance of counselors, there is safety. Okay, so never think that you are just destined to do this alone forever. You don't know what you don't know. And that's why if you really want to get to where you want to be, you think about your guitar hero, okay? Like, who is the person that inspired you to pick up a guitar and just melt faces, okay? Chances are that's somebody who had external input, who got in the room, got the mentorship or whatever was needed in order to make that person a guitar hero, because that's absolutely not how that guy or gal started out. So if the guitar is something you are passionate about, you are wanting at least to put in the time in order to get to where you want to be at the level of your guitar hero, you really should consider your environment and make the adjustments needed, because then you'll get an optimized training environment that's built for results, and that's going to lead to an optimized training routine, which will then lead to a drastic improvement in your skills. So Everything changes when you dial in your practice environment, you establish and work toward a specific goal, you train guitar rather than play guitar, and you work on your speed. You start to see huge gains come in a much shorter time, and all of that compounds over time like a snowball effect so that you reclaim so many lost months of frustration and plateaus. And if you're ready to take your playing seriously and get in the room where you can get direct guidance with others who are committed to breaking out of their alternate picking roadblocks and speed plateaus, again, my next Shred Guitar Challenge is coming up real soon. Details for that are in the link below, and you can also find them at zachsharguitar.com and save your spot there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this blessed you today. In the meantime, stick in, keep rocking, and God bless.